afternoon, everybody. Quick audio check, visual check, some thumbs up, some from people, please. You hear me good? You're seeing the screen? Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So thank you all so very much for joining us today. Got a lot of good material to cover. This is all about how AI can be used within the public sector. Although it's geared definitely to the public sector, if you happen to just be joining in otherwise, you'll still find some really good stuff. Some of the day in the life steps and use cases might be a little off, but I'm sure you'll find some really good nuggets there. This is a recorded session as well. So the value here, why you're here with us live, Q&A. Start picking our brains. Use that Q&A in chat so that you can ping me. You can ping my co-presenter Crystal, which we'll introduce here in a second, and let us see if we can help point you in the right direction here, because there's just so much going on here. There's so much activities and so many unknowns. We're talking to some of you or some of your counterparts in other agencies on a daily basis, and we're hearing a lot of the same concerns. We're hearing a lot of the same stuff. So we thought, hey, let's get you all together and kind of help give you some guidance as to where we should go. We're going to stay pretty high level here. We're not going to get deep. So if you're a deep dev wanting to learn about AI Studio, AI Foundry, you probably not quite the right session for you right here. We're going to try to stay high and give you some of the really powerful use cases of AI in today's world. All right. Of course, before we get started, we do want to tell you about ourselves. If you are new to Creospark, we are a digital agency, a consultancy within the Microsoft ecosystem, primarily focused on three big pieces, which is around modern work, process transformation, and secure cloud. We want to help you. We want to help you and your organization, your team, to create really good digital experiences, be that for your coworkers as well as your constituents or people that you're interacting with outside of your organization, within your department, within your agency, based around the Microsoft ecosystem. We know SharePoint, Microsoft 365, Copilot, Power Apps, Azure really, really well. We would love to work with you. We're US-based and Toronto-based, Canada-based. So anywhere in North America, we're here to help you. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I'm sure we can help you. Some quick housekeeping. Q&A is important here. That's one of the values. Is like you could probably go to Microsoft Learn and figure out a lot of what we're talking about. You're going to get a lot of spin, shall we say. You'll have to still sort of read between lines, and you may spend hours, if not days and weeks, hopefully, trying to figure out what we're going to go through here. Hopefully about 45 minutes. This is all about your Q&A, because you're going to end up with questions on everything you read. So please do use that. We'll do our best to answer all that. If not, we will be getting back to you somehow to say, hey, here's that answer to that question. We do have handouts that are going to be available at the end. This deck has got quite a few links in it. You'll want to just download the deck when we provide it to you, or the handout. That way you can grab them or screenshot it, of course, or you can use Copilot, Bing, Google, Grok, ChatGPT, whatever. You'll get a lot of the materials that we individually provide. You can search for it and you can find it. But hey, we've got the links for you. We do have a webinar giveaway we'll talk about at the end as well. So thank you for being here. Many of you have asked for proof of attending. We do have certificates available if you'd like to say that, yes, you did in fact attend this, and here's what you learned, in case any of your people that you work with need that or care about that. And as I did say, we do record this. We don't make it available instantly. We want to give you value for being here. I respect your time. I want to make sure you get the value first and foremost. And so, yep, thanks for joining. But if you need that recording, you want to watch it again, we did a webinar last month, and someone said, yeah, not only were they live, they listened to it multiple times. They came back to us, engaged in a project with us because they liked what they heard and they want to further that conversation. We're definitely here for you, and that recording should be able to help you. Okay, and so before I introduce myself, I know that's a little late here, and I'm going to introduce Crystal, my co-presenter here. Let's talk about the primary focus of what we're looking at today. This is all about AI for the public sector. That's really what we want to focus on. Primarily, that's going to be around Copilot, Copilot agents. We're going to do a very quick foundational look at AI, just so we know we're all talking about the same thing. We want to talk about Copilot Studio, your journey to AI the way we see it, as well as we've got 5 very specific use cases. That's a big thing people are asking for because they don't fully understand, how does this affect me today? We've got some really good day in the life of examples we want to go through. We'll talk about what the KPIs you're looking to go for, what's the cost for that particular use case scenario, like what do you need for licensing to do it, what KPIs are you measuring, who's it going to be for, and then a day in the life of, like 6 different steps for each of these scenarios about what you'd be doing, what application you'd be using, sort of sample prompts you would be using to help enable Copilot AI, Copilot Studio, et cetera, to truly drive answers, knowledge, and to get value out of it. Any of the day in the lives of that we go through, I would argue, because I'm a huge proponent of this myself, that the cost of AI could be like your monthly cost of AI could be made up every day you interact with Copilot. The productivity gains you could have could easily save you that kind of revenue, that kind of expenses. So something to think about. Excellent. So with that, it's always good, I think. So you know who we are. I'll introduce myself first, and then we'll bring Crystal here to introduce herself as well. My name is Eric Overfield. I'm the CIO at Creospark. I'm also a Microsoft MVP, a Microsoft Regional Director. I'm on the P&P team. Generally, what all that means for me is I really enjoy the community side. I enjoy sharing what I've learned to help you all be successful as well. I know that most people I interact with, they're going to go do it themselves, and that's really okay with me. That's good. I want to see you all be able to build really good digital experiences for whatever it is that you need to do. I would like to make your work life, and for you and your coworkers, better, more enjoyable. Let's get rid of some of the mundane and some of those concerns. Back in my day of the SharePoint world, it was about how to build better intranet so that people could find information quicker. I want to help remove those frustrations so that we can focus on the job that we have in front of us, whatever that may be. Now it's moved into a lot of AI and data, but yeah, so it's always a pleasure to be here. With that, Crystal, thank you for joining us here. Tell us a little about yourself, please.
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Crystal Amuro. I'm a business applications practice lead here at Creospark. My role here is really leading the whole practice on delivering and implementing this type of solutions. But it's really a whole Microsoft business applications, including both Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. Yeah, looking forward to sharing with you all a lot of helpful insights about AI today. It's been a while since I did this with Eric too, so I'm excited. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Yeah, definitely. Always fun. I always enjoy these times. Great. So let's level set. Why are we here today? The fact is that this whole AI thing is taking the world by storm, and it is changing. It'd be too hyperbolic to say daily, but I mean, it's changing really, really, really fast. And I like this quote here that I found from Mustafa Solomon. He's the Microsoft AI CEO. This is a person who reports directly to Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, and he's leading Microsoft's AI efforts. And he even said, this is about a month old, so it's not totally fresh, but still it's fresh enough for me that even those of us that are closest to the development are sometime struggling to figure out exactly what this all is. If they're struggling with it as well, because it is moving so fast, there's so many things happening, what are you supposed to do about it? How are you supposed to actually make this make sense? And this is not a problem. This is something that we can deal with. There are things you can do today. There are tools that you could use today that can make you much more productive. Let's look at those. Let's focus on those things. Let's drive value and understanding of what AI can do for us today, for us, our coworkers, and our constituents, or the people that we interact with. But also let's think towards the future of where is the world generally heading, and how can we follow along with that? So that's how I put this all together. Now we're going to talk about AI, Copilot, Copilot Studio, day in the life of. While we're doing some of that, what I want you to think about are some very high-level use cases, scenarios. And you might not see yourself in here. Not all of you are going to be working within courtrooms, let's say, but these are some big topics I want you to be thinking about that AI can help with. So things around delivering citizen services, procurement life cycles, helping with meetings, understanding that, onboarding people within your team. Content creation is huge. Working with budgets, help desks, etc. There are some really good use case material that Microsoft has provided. I provided the link here for you. It's something I definitely suggest you check out. I have another link coming up a little later that talks about, gosh, I think 12 or so different use case presentations. So if you need to understand how AI can help specific types of people within your org, that will be there for you. It's in a presentation form, so you can download it, tweak it. That can also help for onboarding materials, training materials, project sponsorship. When you want to say, hey, we want to roll this out, and you want to show the value, Microsoft has already produced some really, really good materials for us. So please keep that in mind as we spend the next sort of 30 minutes talking about AI, Copilot, Copilot Studio. How can we leverage this within our departments, agencies, et cetera, to be able to truly drive value? So before we get too deep on that, I want to level set. I want to make sure that we all agree upon what we mean by AI in this case, because AI has been around for a long time, shall we say, but we're really talking about this new generative AI and this new agentic world we find ourselves in. Like, what does all that mean, and how can we then use this all to provide the greatest ROI? Also, in full transparency, so I don't work for Microsoft. I have not yet, and don't really have an intended to anytime soon. I am a Microsoft MVP and RD. Those are unpaid things. Those are just sort of awards they've given me. I do want to be very transparent, though. I am a huge proponent of Copilot, Copilot Studio. I use Microsoft Copilot daily, if not multiple times a day. I believe every time I use it, I'm saving my org more than the monthly costs. So generally, retail rates $30 per user per month for Copilot. We'll get to that shortly. I'm saving that in productivity. I've already used it twice today in two very big tasks that saved me a lot of time. Definitely saved me more than 30 minutes of my time. And I mean, the average employees typically cost somewhere between $30 to $100 an hour is all in costs. So I saved that in the increase in productivity, and that was just to help me create some content. That didn't have anything to do with meetings or anything. So I do want you to be aware. Yes, I understand. I'm kind of a shill for this, but I'm a true believer in AI, and it has helped me greatly in my work. Okay, so conversational AI though. So what was this? Why is it important to us? And when it really comes down to it is that all of us, all of our departments, orgs, agencies, et cetera, we're facing lots of different IT and business challenges. This is getting in the way of some of the efficiencies within with our orgs. It's limiting productivity. It's creating some frustrations with some of the customer constituents experiences working within our own team and whatnot. And conversational AI has really helped organizations who are embracing it to change and to become more efficient in how they're able to work. There's just lots of communication channels out there. It's challenging for us to have enough time to do all it is that we need to do in a given day. And we're just really seeing where the people we interact with are expecting, they have higher expectations of what they should be able to get out of the org, get out of us, get out of what we're doing, because we've all started to hear about some of these new things that AI is doing. And so when you remove some of the burdens to getting answers, to getting information, to consuming information, to learning information, and you turn that into a more conversational approach, you start to really unlock a lot of what can be done. And so generative AI, Gen AI, ChatGPT, is really starting to change the way that we as individuals, we as orgs can move forward with the tasks that are in front of these tools, these co-pilots, can really help us start to optimize how we're interacting within our organization, which is then looking to achieve greater time to value so that we can get things out quicker, we can understand things faster, we can help promote tasks or insights more quicker, and also help with some of the mundane tasks we all have to do. There's content we might have to create. There's email responses we have to do. There's meeting synthesization that needs to occur. What happened in that? Oh, we all forgot last week. We need summary notes of the tasks that should be driven from that conversation we just had, et cetera. So that a lot of those things can get supplemented. I want to almost say like offloaded, but we'll get into Copilot and why that wording is good. Some of the creation of this can be assisted by AI, which is really, the point is to free us all up to be more, I want to use the word human. It's what's the true value that we can do? We can truly create new things. AI is generative based on past actions. It truly isn't innovative yet. It doesn't look forward. It's not designed to do that. We do that. So let's free ourselves up to have to worry less about some of the mundane that must occur, but some of the mundane within our org so that we can truly innovate, truly have more time to provide more value to our organizations, to our constituencies, to the departments and agencies we work for. Now, Microsoft's answer to this is Microsoft Copilot. Now, Copilot's been out a little bit of time. I'm sure many of you have heard of it and whatnot, but it is being positioned. And if you listen to Microsoft's AI CEO Mustafa, he has given us a pretty good view of where he's looking for this to go, where Copilot is, Microsoft 365 Copilot in particular, is the primary AI agent, your Copilot, not your pilot. One of the better named Microsoft products, I have to say. It's your Copilot. It's your digital assistant sitting next to you. And the idea is that 365 Copilot and 365 Copilot will be there as your primary interface to AI as you work through your digital work life within the organization you work for. Currently, there's lots of Copilots all over the place. That's all being consolidated. This is pretty public. Microsoft is having this vision where you'll have Microsoft 365 Copilot, and then it will follow you along. It will always be there to help you understand what you're doing right now, to pull information and summarize things, to create some new content for you, to then go and validate and edit and deliver, to help create presentations, to understand meetings, to then be the root conversation engine that you'll use to have what we're calling agents, this agentic world where these side things, and Crystal's going to get into a lot more of this customization, this next phase, this building phase, extending phase, to be able to do some actions for you as well. We're just starting to see that. So ChatGPT announced some of these agents that you could sort of trigger when you're communicating with ChatGPT. Well, Copilot is seeing the same thing. Can we tell Copilot to do something for us, say in the future or on a routine schedule, and it automatically will create that kind of reminder to go and do things? That's getting out there. The whole point of this, though, is around Copilot is that Microsoft 365 Copilot is sort of the root of that. That's where it's going. So we really want to get involved in that piece. And the second one I really wanted to talk about was Copilot. It is not your pilot. You've probably heard other people say it. I'm not the first one to come up with this. Greatly named product, but it's your assistant that sits next to you. One of the big concerns a lot of you are going to have is, where does Copilot AI, Microsoft AI, sit within your data, within your tenancy, and is your data secure? So Microsoft released a pretty cool chart that I really like to see, which is, okay, so you've got your M365 tenant. This is your data, your Outlook data, your OneDrive data, your SharePoint data, your Teams meetings, etc. And the Microsoft Graph can help pull all this together into something called a buzzword you might hear, semantic index. Don't worry about what it is right now. If you don't know, it's not important. But it also means Microsoft Graph can pull in your external data out of the M365 boundary. That's using something called graph connectors outside of the scope of here. But your data exists within the tenant, and Microsoft 365 Copilot lives within your tenant as well. So when you're using Copilot, your data never leaves your service boundary. It's not used to go out there. Yeah, someone said it's kind of like RAG. It actually, yeah, exactly how it's using that. It's retrieval augmentation generation. It's using this idea of using your data on top of LLMs to create a really good, valuable response. But your data lives within your boundary, and it doesn't go out of your boundary. So your prompts are not going to get shared and make the model better. Your data is not going to get used to make the underlying models any better. It doesn't get shared out with anybody else. The big concern only would be is if you have oversharing internally. If I have access to a file I shouldn't have in SharePoint, in OneDrive, within Teams or something, someone made a mistake and I have access to it, I could have access to it. I could go search for it, correct? Well, Copilot would see that and say, oh, it could use that data in providing, it's called grounding, in providing a response to me. So that's the big concern people talk about, is outside of, is my data shared? No, it's not. This graph I hope really helps show you Microsoft's vision of it. The second one is around security of data. That's a whole different initiative you'd want to look at, which is my data internally secure internally, so that it then works. There is a little side tangent I want to talk about. People have said, oh, well, Microsoft, there's been white papers out there saying that Copilot can be hacked. I've read as many as I can. I'm trying to stay really up to date on this. Every time I've done the research myself. You'd have to fact check yourself for me, please. But when I found it, when Copilot was hacked, it was hacked by an internal bad actor who did something that you can't stop. If you put bad data into your environment, Copilot could use it. You can't stop that. That's the hacking that's been done, is bad data was put in, which made Copilot use such bad data. I personally call that fireable offenses. If someone were to leak data from your organization, it's the same idea here. If someone tries to ruin your Copilot, gosh, hey, it's not me. I'm not your HR department, but I have found that Copilot has been outrageously secure as long as you do trust Microsoft. And that's something someone asked me to prove. I can't prove Microsoft is trustworthy. I trust them. They have a multi-trillion-dollar valuation based on that trust, but that's going to be up to you. Okay, there are two primary flavors of Copilot. So the first is Copilot Chat. The second one is more just Copilot. These are some naming changes that Microsoft continues to make. I've not found documentation to prove it. I don't think Microsoft likes to admit that sometimes they change names a lot. Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat used to just be called Microsoft Copilot. That was the free version that was tied into basically your ID that you could use, kind of like using ChatGPT, but it knew who you were and it had your Entra ID associated with it. But you'll see in the chart what it didn't do, and Copilot Chat doesn't do, is it doesn't ground on your data holistically and automatically. Whereas if you want your data used to help provide responses, you need to look then at the paid version of Copilot. I'm giving you the retail pricing here, $30 per user per month. I know a lot of you are probably GCC high. My investigations into that is you're getting a lot more parity. You still get a lot here, but your pricings all may adjust based on your agreements with Microsoft. So I'm just giving you retail prices so that you can see what this is. When Copilot Chat was announced about a month ago, they didn't say that, Microsoft didn't say, oh, well, this is just a rebranding. They didn't want to do that. They came out and said, oh, this is a brand new product. The reason why I say that, no NDA here, and I don't know for any fact or anything, was that with Copilot Chat, you can get some new features that are metered. You'll pay for the metered features. Those are the two around. You can create agents that Copilot Chat could use. And they have this idea of this autonomous actions as well. So Chat could get those with as long as they get metered. Your Copilot Chat is much more similar to, say, something like Grok or something like ChatGPT. It's just that it is still secure by your Entra ID. And what Microsoft has said is that they're not using your data to train the model when you're using Copilot Chat. Now, if you use Bing, the Bing chat still, you go to Bing and there's that chat, that is Copilot there without Entra ID. That's a little different. That to me acts more like ChatGPT. There's one little other thing that with Copilot Chat, you can, in your prompt, point it to a couple of like Word docs. So you don't need to pay to have Chat be able to reason over or think through or look at some of your Word docs, your some data within your org, but you have to point it directly to the file you'd want it to think about. Whereas with Copilot Paid, your responses could be grounded by all the data that lives within your org. Before we look at sort of your AI journey, I'm going to hand it over to Crystal. I wanted you to think through. There's some top 10 first tries. So if you're looking at using Copilot, what are some things that you can do? These are some of your no-brainers, and you're going to see in the day in the life, you're going to see similar ideas. Teams, Outlook, Excel, like these are some big ones. And the other one is around just Copilot, just using Copilot itself. I'm not going to read all these, so I'll let you read them. But where I use Copilot daily often is more like number five, or number six. Tell me about, teach me something. And it could be internal or external. Tell me about a project. Tell me about something that I don't know. Help me summarize it. And it gives you links so I could fact check it, because you never can trust Copilot or any GPT. It just doesn't work that way. Give me ideas for. Help me think through what are some ideas that I want to think about, say even for a project plan. I've got a project coming up. I want to build a bridge. What are some things I should be thinking about? Obviously, I'm not a civil engineer. I'm not doing that kind of stuff. But like what are some high-level bullet points that I'd want to put in a presentation about building a bridge? Now, if I was a civil engineer, I could look at that and at least it would potentially produce a good 30 to 60 minutes worth of work in 5 seconds. And now I could go through and say, oh, that's a good outline. Now let me put in the real facts. So there's some really good things I highly suggest you should check out, aka.ms/prompts. That's your Microsoft prompt library that can really help you kind of get started. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand over to you, Crystal, about thinking about our AI journey a little bit.
Yes, thank you, Eric. So let's talk about your AI journey. So when we think about AI, we often imagine something big or something complex. But really, at its core, Copilot is all about making the everyday task you already do a lot easier. So it's really designed to assist you and not overwhelm you. So as you've seen in the previous slide that Eric showed us about what to try first, Copilot can really help you by drafting emails and summarizing meeting notes or even formatting documents. So think of it as a personal AI assistant that stays with you across all your tools, helping you with your work and get more done. So the main goal here is simple: reduce the time spent on routine tasks. And this allows you to spend more time using your expertise and making decisions and doing the work that really matters. And this is where you'll get to see an immediate boost to your day-to-day efficiency. And then once you've experienced that time-saving benefits of Copilot on a personal level, the next step is really to look at how it can help your team work more effectively. So here's the functional value. At this stage, you're not just automating individual tasks anymore. You're creating custom agents that can help your team's workflow. So for example, imagine like a project manager using Copilot to track tasks or sends reminders about upcoming deadlines, or pulls in all the necessary documents or data for meetings. So this kinds of specialized agent will keep your team aligned without everyone having to manually update each other and chase down information. So the beauty of this is that building these agents is simple. It doesn't require any coding skills, and you can tailor these tools to fit your team's specific needs and make your processes more efficient. And then as you get more comfortable with Copilot, the next step is to scale its impact. And that's where the real power of Copilot comes, when these agents are deployed at scale. So once you have these tools helping across teams, the benefits extend beyond your personal productivity and then start driving organizational value. So it's no longer about just making one person more productive. It's about making the entire organization more efficient and aligned. And this shift is where Copilot's full potential comes into play. Now, let's break this down on an effort level. What does that journey look like for you at each phase? If you move on to the next slide, please. All right, so the first phase here is start. It's all about quickly getting up and running. You begin by using Microsoft Copilot Chat, which is easy to access. And this is a secure AI-powered chat tool that assists you with common tasks like drafting emails or summarizing meeting notes or researching topics. And the beauty of this space is that you don't need to set up anything up. Just log in and you're ready to go. So Copilot Chat begins helping you instantly, saving you time on routine tasks with minimal effort. And then the next phase is the buy phase, where you start unlocking even more powerful capabilities. Now, at this point, you gain access to a broader set of tools that help you work more efficiently across a wide range of tasks. So, for example, in Microsoft 365, Copilot can assist you with analyzing data in Excel, automating repetitive tasks, and creating content in Word or Outlook. And then if you've had an opportunity to try out Dynamics 365, there's also Copilot in there that helps automate customer service workflows. It can provide you key insights and can streamline a lot of processes. And then, of course, the Copilot in Power platform, you can easily start building custom workflows and automating a lot of this business tasks. So again, all with minimal setup, because these tools are designed to provide value right out of the box with little effort required from you. Now, finally, on the extend phase, you begin customizing Copilot to better suit your specific needs. So this is where you can create Copilot agents, specialized tools that help automate processes for your team or department. So it can be like an IT agent or an HR agent or a project agent. Now, while this phase requires a bit more effort, it allows you to create tailored solutions that fit your organization's workflows and goals. And you can also integrate these agents with your existing systems and data so that we can ensure that smooth and efficient processes across the board. So now that we've discussed how Copilot helps you in different phases of your journey, we want to share with you something like diving into something more specific and how AI plays a role in real world scenarios.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Wonderful. Okay. So yeah, we've got a lot here. I think this is why a lot of you are here, is to understand what's the, give me some ideas exactly how we're going to do this. So there are like three kind of big buckets here we want to talk about, which is one, how can AI, so we're thinking here Copilot and Copilot Studio, how can it help really affect your KPIs, things that matter within your organization. We also think through like what would the specific use case roles be, so different types of people within your different agency or org or whatnot. And then within each of our scenarios, we want to do like a day in the life of sort of, it's going to be a chart, it's going to be a path of six, I call them six sort of steps that would occur typically in order. And you may find that our scenarios, some of them may not match, don't worry. I'm sure you'll see a lot of opportunities though, like, oh, well, we don't do that. We don't work in a courtroom, but we do have things where we're interacting with constituents in a similar way. Great, then you can use that. You'll also see that a lot of them are going to echo each other, which is not unusual. There's different apps within Microsoft 365, be it Word, Excel, Outlook, Teams, etc. You've also got Copilot. Copilot's good at generating content, things like that, summarizing. So you'll see a lot of the same ideas, which I think is good. It's just that they'll be tied to a specific day in the life of or a use case scenario. If you have to do this type of things, how can these tools help you through this? So really what it is, what are some of the goals and challenges? Well, we've got a lot of budgeting, forecasting, communications, cross-dimensional collaboration that occurs. AI can really help get in there to help analyze that data, to help understand some valuable insights and whatnot, as well as to help improve just general communication or the speed of communication by helping you create answers or responses to things a lot quicker. So some of the KPIs we'd be looking to address here, things such as like procurement, communication, courtroom efficiencies, or think through like department efficiencies or efficiencies interacting with a regulated component or whatnot. Budget's huge, of course. So these are some of the KPIs we're looking to address, like the roles that we consider: clerks, communications, finance, IT, procurement, some big roles. You may not be in one of these. Don't worry. I think you'll still find some really good stuff. And this is where we've got some links as well. We have some links as well where Copilot can assist with. You'll get the deck and you'll be able to get it, but think through improving cycle lifetimes and citizen access to services. That's a huge one. I'm sure a lot of you are looking at that as well as how could you build an agent, Copilot agent, a chatbot you might call, to be able to put on your public facing website to be able to communicate efficiently with your with your constituents. Like one that came up today, and not pointing out any specific jurisdiction or anything, but it's an agent that could say, "Hey, look, it snowed a lot in Ontario recently. Can I get some scheduling of having my road plowed?" Like, to be able to go to an agent to be able to do that rather than having to call someone or send an email that gets lost in the ether. Could you create some sort of agent do that? And that's where AI Copilot can really create some very interesting scenarios for you as well. Okay, so let me take on a few. I'm going to hand over to Crystal as well to handle some, but let's look through this. You can see there's a lot of text here. I'm not reading my text too much, so please read it, but let's think through this. So this is about a use case around procurement life cycle. So what are some of the KPIs here? It'd be around the speed to delivery, adhering to budgets, etc. This would be something that you would get out of Copilot. So this is a buy, not an extend. This scenario, at least, I'm sure we can come up with ideas where you might want to extend it. But if you had a Copilot license, you can get through this through these different use cases pretty easy. So starting with like trying to pull together RFP requirements for something, for some sort of procurement. So using Word, using Copilot within Word to be able to summarize long documents or whatnot, to create some sort of understanding of what's happening by using the content in the document, as well as using web-based data, using the collective wisdom, with an asterisk, of the internet, to be able to help understand what are some of the requirements that might be necessary. Now, if you have Copilot create some sort of RFP for you and you send that out as is, I want to come talk to you because you did it wrong. No, this is to help you get started, to help think through things you may not have thought of. And you might scrap a lot of it. You might tweak it. You should turn it into your own language, the way that you think it should be said. But it's a great space to be able to use Copilot to help you think through things you may not have thought through. Now you need to maybe to analyze some of the data. This is where Excel can come in. We all use Excel to run our works. We do. It's a fact. It's just everywhere I go. And I'm a big data person. I like Fabric a lot. Microsoft Fabric, but hey, I mean, even our organization runs a lot in Excel for good reasons. It's easy. But to be able to analyze that data, to understand it, not all of us are data scientists that understand Excel to that level. Let Copilot help you within Excel to compare and analyze tables of data that you have in Excel. Then use Word to help create some standardized templates, maybe some contract terminology that you may have. Wrap all this up maybe into some sort of presentation. So you can use PowerPoint and Copilot PowerPoint to help rapidly create some outlines of some presentation text for you. Again, I'm thinking here, saving 30, 60, 90 minutes. I'm not trying to save you days. Well, sometimes you can, but often it's to help you get started. And that can save a lot of time. Now we've got some meetings that happen within Teams. We have Teams recordings. That's great. So now summarize the discussion points. We had an hour discussion. Who said what? What were some big takeaways? What are some task lists that we may want? Copilot can do that in seconds to synthesize what occurred and put that all together. And then email generation. Maybe you need to send out an email to that approval, or you need to send an emails to say that some of the vendors that were not selected. Have Copilot help create those initial drafts for you on. You give it a prompt, create an email, professional tone that rewards someone notify someone that they've been awarded a contract called such and such. And then you can have Copilot create a draft for you. You can have Copilot help you expand upon things, rewrite it. And then once you're happy with it, you lock that in and now edit it to make it your own language. You could save a lot of time. A lot of us, we know what we want to say, but the words don't come to us quickly. Copilot, I found it says things that I wanted to say. That's how I wanted to say it. A lot of the words that I wanted to use, not perfect, I make it my own. Okay, Crystal, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I want to show you some of the real world scenarios in the public service delivery. So these examples highlight the extent phase that I mentioned earlier. Like, for example, consider Wendy, a new resident who wants to know about like upcoming community plans and activities. So instead of her browsing through different pages of your websites or contacting multiple offices, she simply asks the AI agent or the chatbot deployed on your website. So the agent instantly provides her with that information that she needs about local events and community projects. So the benefit is clear. The AI agent helps Wendy get the information she needs quickly, which immediately boosts citizen engagement by making public information more accessible. And you see, by automating the process of answering common questions, the government saves valuable time and resources while also providing faster access to important information. And again, this also aligns with the organization's goal of enhancing that public accessibility to key community resources. Now, on a larger scale, as more citizens use the system, public engagement will continue to grow and the workload on your customer service team is reduced. So this results in better resource allocation, higher satisfaction levels, and really showing how AI driven access tool can benefit the entire public service system. Now, another example that you see here is Harold, who is planning a home remodeling project. So instead of him visiting multiple departments or wading through piles of paperwork, Harold uses the AI agent to get clear instructions about the permitting process. So the agent's ability to provide that instant, accurate regulatory guidance means Harold can begin his project with confidence and without unnecessary delays. And it also ensures that citizens follow the correct procedures. So in this scenario, the government not only saves time for both citizens and employees, but also ensures greater compliance and transparency in the permitting process. And this improves both operational efficiency and the public trust in government services. Now, all of this are just few examples of how AI can enhance citizen engagement. Now, let's shift gears a bit and explore how AI can also improve communication and collaboration across teams and departments. So here is a very similar scenarios that Eric walked us through. But if you're a daily user of Microsoft 365, you're already familiar with the tools that help you get your work done. But what if you could do all this more efficiently with the power of AI at your side? So that's where Microsoft 365 Copilot comes in. So Copilot enhances the tools you already use by adding intelligent capabilities. Again, it's like having a smart assistant working alongside you and helping you work smarter, not harder. So, for example, you need to get a clear understanding of the key priorities within the organization. You can prompt Copilot to say, hey, retrieve all documents related to communication planning for a specific project from the last 4 weeks. So Copilot helps streamline that data analysis by quickly aggregating relevant documents and data, giving you a clear picture of the priorities and allowing you to make informed decisions about your communication strategy. Now, another layer of this is security, of course. How you would configure all the security settings within the Copilot is the information that you are able to access, or the Copilot while you're using Copilot, the only information that you will get there are only the documents and data that you have access to, because you're logged in on the Microsoft Copilot. So only the ones that you can access are the only information that you'll get. So just to be clear on that. But I want to walk you through another example. So say you meet with key stakeholders to discuss the communications plan, right? So we have Copilot in Teams, which can enhance your meeting by providing transcription and summarizing the discussion. So the benefit of this is that you can be fully present during the meeting while it takes care of transcribing important points and summarizing action items. And this helps ensure that no detail is missed and that everyone has access to the key takeaways after the meeting. And then after your meetings and communications, of course, the next step is to disseminate the decisions and action items to a broader audience. So with Copilot in Outlook, you can instantly draft emails summarizing all those key points of the meeting or a project and send them out. Really just by using natural language. Hey, Copilot, draft me an email summarizing all these decisions and the next steps from today's meeting. Copilot will help you draft concise and clear emails, allowing you to focus on other priorities while also ensuring that everyone is informed and aligned on the next steps. Yeah, so there are even more scenarios where AI can be leveraged to improve government services, and I'll let Eric walk you through those.
So how do you all like drinking from the fire hose? It's a lot, isn't it? So in interesting time, what I want to do, I want to quickly present these. Again, give you a link though, so you can get all the data, and don't forget you can download it. So budget adherence, huge stuff. Same basic ideas here. Using Copilot within Teams, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Outlook to help understand data, to reason through it, to help create responses quicker, to help give you those first drafts, to help you understand things so that you can then go ahead and serve the people that you're working for that much quicker. And lastly, one I wanted to show was around this. I did very specific, but like the hybrid courtroom. Again, basically it's the same thing. It's the same ideas here, but managing court cases within teams, managing the conversations that have occurred and helping understand them, analyzing some of that data, helping even create legal documents. Please don't ever use Copilot to create court cases and stuff. Huge thing that happened in the States. Like, Copilot makes things up, but it's a great way to just understand something, to quickly get an overview. And I can get you 80% of the way there, understand something that just came out, an argument being made, etc., to help put it into different words. A classic one is this could still work, is explain this to me as you would to a fifth grader, to a 10-year-old. And it can give you some good ideas of something that you could then maybe get a base model of something in your head, and then you can now use that to truly understand the deep minutia of whatever it is you're working with. So what I want to do to leave you with here on the day in the life of is Microsoft has produced a whole bunch of presentations on these different kind of day in the life of on different roles. This is a huge takeaway for you that I highly recommend that you look at when you look to work within Copilot and you look to deploy this out. And as we've said, this is really your base intro into AI world. So if you're not looking to implement Copilot within your org, you can find out, maybe you're going to create some agents for external users. You want to create your own bots. Okay, I get it. But most of us, our intro is going to be using Copilot, Microsoft Copilot within the org to have an internal reasoning engine, a generative AI engine. So I hope that really helps you kind of get started and whatnot. What we want to do now is shift to extending. So I'm going to hand it back to you, Crystal, and we'll go as quick as we can here, everybody, because I know your time is valuable and we still have a lot we want to cover.
All right. Well, let's dive deeper into how you can unlock even more potential with Copilot Studio. This is the main reason why I'm here. So Copilot Studio is really a low-code platform for building and deploying intelligent agents using AI and large language models. So again, it helps automate tasks, integrate data, and improve operations, making it easy to create custom Copilots, whether you're extending Microsoft Copilot or building your own. Now, there are three personas that we want you to kind of understand when we're working on Copilot Studio. Those are users, developers, and admins. So users, these are everyday users who will benefit the most from the intelligent agents you create in Copilot Studio. So users are focused on working more efficiently, spending less time on repetitive tasks. This might not be the ones building the agents, but they interact with them every day. Next, we have developers. These are the technical resources who create more complex solutions in Copilot Studio. So developers build the agents and the workflows to solve specific challenges within the organization. So while they may know how to code, they don't need to write a lot of code because Copilot Studio's low-code nature, it's very easy to use. And then we have admins. So admins are responsible for making sure everything runs smoothly and securely in Copilot Studio. They manage permissions, they monitor agent performance because Copilot Studio has a built-in analytics feature in it. You can monitor how effective your agents are, how effective it is for all the users. And admins also ensure the compliance with security and privacy rules. So again, the beauty of Copilot Studio is that it allows these personas to collaborate effectively. So while users get the benefits, developers build and refine the solutions, admins ensure that the environment is secure and functioning well. And also with Copilot Studio, it's not just about using pre-built solutions. It's about designing and building your own intelligent assistants that can seamlessly integrate with Microsoft 365 and your existing tools. And you'll experience a very intuitive building environment that makes it easy to create and deploy custom AI agents tailored specifically to your organization needs. So earlier we showed you some AI assistants that can help you draft emails or generate summaries. Now Copilot takes these capabilities a step further by allowing you to extend and customize these copilots to align with the unique scenarios of your organization. So this is where the real power of Copilot Studio comes in. You can create new AI agents that integrate directly into your workflows. And one of the key strengths of Copilot Studio is it's a connected platform. It doesn't work in isolation. So it integrates smoothly with a wide range of Microsoft AI technologies. And what's even better, Copilot Studio offers robust governance and control features. Again, you can monitor usage, you can track user activity, and really gain like a full visibility into who's building and customizing these agents within your organization. And going through the next slide, so we want to say that with Copilot Studio, you're starting your own AI journey. This is a huge and unique opportunity to create custom AI solutions that can directly meet the needs of your organization, improving how you work day in and day out. And the great thing about Copilot Studio is that it's designed to be user-friendly. You don't need to be a coding expert to begin. It's a simple platform that allows you to create custom AI agents that integrate with other tools, with your existing tools, whether it be a Microsoft apps or not. So you might be wondering where to start. Well, you can begin right away. So even with small tasks. So as you gain more experience, you can scale and create more sophisticated AI solutions that support broader goals across your organization. So this is about empowering you to take control of how AI can make a difference in your day-to-day work. It's not about building something complex from the start. It's about starting with small, meaningful improvements that will help you and your organization be more efficient and aligned with your goals. So we just want to say, like with any other projects, though, there may be some challenges along the way. You'll likely encounter moments where things don't go as planned. So, but don't let this stop you. It's part of the process. So this is important. We want you to understand this point so you know what to expect. So if you've worked on a project from start to finish, you'd think improvements build up over time, right? To create smooth sailing all the way to the finish line. But that's not how it usually goes, right? Building an agent is just like any other project. So at first, things are going well, you're learning, you're making progress and moving forward. Then suddenly you hit a snag and it feels like everything is falling apart. But if you keep going and work through the challenges, your final result will be even better than what you have imagined. Now, we're not telling you this to discourage you from making an agent. We just want you to keep this in mind. And the key is to start small and build as you learn, improve as you go. And Copilot Studio will make it easy for you to begin. And as you keep building, you'll create more powerful tools later that can help your team and your organization work better. So it's about taking one step at a time. So I'm going to let Eric wrap up this session.
Yeah, and kind of my take on this as well. This is we found in every single project that was extending Copilot was we all said, oh, well, Microsoft said you could do this. The world said you could do that. So our expectations is great. Well, when you first touch Copilot Studio, you can have a custom agent in minutes. It's really fast. It's like, wow, this is super cool. Then you start testing it and realize to get the responses you were looking for is not easy. And you're just like, oh, geez, I'm starting back at square one. Yet when you've then built it out, you'll find that you often can exceed your expectations there. A catch to that or key to that is to start to me with that POC. Don't assume you're going to have something huge in production in weeks. I would get your toes wet, start to play with it, get Copilot Studio, build an agent or two, integrate something into Microsoft Copilot, and then go from there. And I think you'll really have a lot more success long term with your projects. So let's kind of summarize this up. I want to think through like what's your AI journey from our perspective? How can you be most successful? The first thing, if you haven't, because this is free, is just to use Copilot Chat. It's free. It's already tied to your Entra ID. You can encourage it internally. You can there's really no data leakage here, period. There's really no security concern that you really need to think about because it's not using and grounding on your data yet. It's a great way to get started, or at least a POC within your organization. Find some people who are interested and help them get started with this. The next step then is to look to investigate Microsoft 365 Copilot. This is your paid version of it. And when you start to do that, you start to think, okay, you worked with that, you maybe work with an initial pilot group, you help them be successful with it. You start coming up with answers of what is Copilot for in organization? What are the primary use cases we want? Because the fact is most people still don't really know what to do and you want to help them out. Then now we're finally at step 2. You're looking to extend Copilot, make it make more sense for you, for your org. Often this is internal kind of stuff. These are these easy big wins that you're interacting with those Workday, ServiceNow, your own application services. You know, the snow removal team has an API to help understand where they are at the moment. You know, that kind of thing. Integrate that kind of data internally, even just so that your people know where things are within your department and your org. And then finally, to me, and that the next one is really creating your own custom agents. We've had plenty of customers that came to us and just wanted their own custom agents. They skipped step 1 and 2, and they're still successful because they are separate. But it's often, I find, useful to get an org to be more, they understand more what Copilot and generative AI is, then they can have more success with what their own custom thing can actually do and come out with. So we are short on time. So I'm going to hand this over to, I believe, Prem, correct? To talk about some of the upcoming things we've got going on.
Thank you so much, Eric. Crystal, it was a wonderful session, very informative. So our upcoming session, it is an in-person event. It's happening in Microsoft Canada head office in Toronto, which will be happening on April 23rd. It is called Journey to AI Adoption. It is for public sector. I recommend all the CXOs and also all the experts to join at this event. It will be an amazing event, and all our experts will be there.
There was supposed to be an animation on this, and I don't know why it's not coming through. So, anyhow, we have questions, of course. Please keep them coming. Let's talk about the giveaway, Prem, please.
Awesome. I'm just gonna quickly share my screen.
Sure.
Just give me a thumbs up when you see my screen.
Here we go.
Are you guys able to see my screen right now?
Sure can.
Perfect. Awesome. So these are some of the entries for our last year's webinar entries. I'm just gonna spin the wheel right now. We'll be choosing one winner. Awesome. Stella Kwan is our winner. We'll go to the next slide. Eric.
Sure thing.
Actually,
see if that works. Oops. Of course, goes all the way back to the beginning. So let me skip to that. There you go.
Awesome.
All right, wrap us up.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So as your feedback is valuable to us as it helps us improve our webinar and create quality content for you all. To access the survey, again, scan the QR code on the screen and let us know your feedback and get a chance to win $50 Amazon gift card. We'll go to the next slide. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Yeah.
Big thanks to everyone who joined us. It looked like there was some really good, y'all are paying attention, which is awesome. Be sure to, if you have any questions like follow up, please ping us, email us, chat with us, something. Myself, Crystal, someone on our team will do our best to help point you in the right direction to help you get started. But yeah, Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye, everybody.